Bro, we're having a 76ers-esque performance to start off the stream. What's going on, everybody? Sorry, just a little software glitch there. So, welcome into the Blazers Uprise postgame show. I am at a loss for words. That was maybe the most shocking blowout performance maybe I've ever seen. I don't know what tops that. You go into Philadelphia as a 10.5-point underdog without Damian Lillard, without CJ McCollum, without Derrick Jones Jr., without Yusuf Nurkic, without Zach Collins, without, I'm forgetting, Nasir Little, you're without him too. Anthony Simons, your only point guard left over, is on a minutes restriction for 20 minutes, so you're starting a starting lineup without a point guard, going up against Philadelphia, who has the best record in the East, and not only do they take care of the 76ers, they absolutely blow them out. I am shocked. I didn't think this team had any chance, but this proves our point that you come out and play the right style of basketball, and you come out with a good game plan, and you can be competitive even when you have guys injured. This is exactly what we've been saying. This is why Stas has never gotten an injury pass for us, because look at this. He came out, coached a good game, the team fought hard, the team got good shots, they moved the ball, and they defended. The defense tonight was really good. You know, some of it was Philadelphia missing some shots, but overall this was a very impressive defensive performance. And what have I been saying? We have offensive talent, even without Dame, without CJ, without Nurkic. We still have offensive talent, enough offensive talent to put up 120 points in a game. And that part isn't shocking, you know? I mean, we still got Melo, Hood. I mean, even CJ Ellaby, you know, had some nice offensive plays. I mean, we have offensive talent. If we could just defend at a decent level, even if we're hurt, we still should be a good team. And we looked like a good team tonight, not only because, you know, some of that offensive talent stepped up, but we also played defense and held the 76ers to 105 points. They didn't hit a three in the first half against the Blazers, who love giving up wide open threes. This game was just, this is what teams do against us when they're shorthanded, right? And this is what we do against other teams when they're shorthanded or worse than us. It's nice to be on the other side of that, man, because I didn't have any expectations going into this game. I was like, oh, if we lose by 30, I'm not even going to be mad. We win by 16, and it wasn't even that close. It was 26 before garbage time started. Then they finally knocked down a couple of shots. So, Eric, reaction. What do you think in regards to this, man? I'm sure you're pretty stoked about this win.
Yeah, first off, just really proud of the way the guys played tonight. They didn't, hang their heads or think they were outmatched or anything like that. You saw Embiid go off in the first half, which I'll get to why I thought that was a good thing, even though everyone was panicking about how we were going to give up 60 points to him later. Mm-hmm. But just really, really, not only was it fun to watch, guys who don't normally get to play well when they get an opportunity, but just the style of play we played, and we were making good decisions on defense. We were, for the most part, making the right passes and stuff like that on offense, getting pretty good shots out of our sets. And it's funny because we don't really have players that can create offense yet. When you have a style of basketball, you could tell the units that were playing all wanted to make a good pass and get someone open. And there were several plays where someone could have taken a shot, but they passed out to someone for a better shot. And that's just beautiful basketball to watch. And I really like watching that style. And I wish we would play like that when we have our full complement of players, and just kind of only resort to the ISO pick and roll heavy stuff when we have to, or when play breaks down.
Yep. I mean, and this is exactly why we were critical for Stotts' offense, you know, without Dame and CJ in the game, right? You have one section of people that say, oh, well, they don't have Dame and CJ in the game. Anthony Simons isn't a true point guard, yada, yada, you know, talent, personnel, blah, 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 right? But you saw this team, and this is what I was saying, right? Everybody wants to go out and sign a backup point guard because they think that's going to make the bench unit function and have better ball movement. And I was saying that's not going to change a thing. It's more of a scheme thing. It's more of what they're trying to do. You have the starting lineup tonight where nobody's the point guard. I mean, Gary Trent Jr. took the ball up at times. Rodney Hood took the ball up at times. Carmelo Anthony took the ball up at times. It was basically just point guard by committee, but none of those guys are even a combo guard. All of those guys are wings, forwards. You got a big and Canner, right? But you look at us in the half court, and we're moving the ball just fine. We're moving players just fine. We're running a good half-court offense. And it's not stagnant. It's not one-on-one focused. And we're running good action. And that was exactly my point when everybody wanted to go sign a backup point guard thinking that would help, the bench unit play less stagnant and whatnot. They wouldn't have to post up Melo all the time, yada, yada. That's not the deciding factor there. It's just the style of offense we run and the type of action we decide to run. It's basically a coaching thing. So you have Stotts come out here tonight, and he has the team moving the ball, moving players, and getting good shots. And that's the only way we were going to be competitive enough offensively, because while we do have offensive talent, we are lacking in terms of, creators out of one-on-one situations or pick-and-roll situations. So this is the type of game plan he needed to come out with. But that's exactly why I've always said, you're never completely out of control, man. Like, these guys are still NBA players. You still have some talent on this team, even with all these injuries. This was an extremely deep team. That's why it was never going to be an injury excuse for me. Now, this game, I would understand them losing by 30. I wasn't going to criticize the coaching for that. They're down a lot of guys. But what did you say before this game? You said, good coaches, what do? If they're down a lot of players, they come out with a good game plan.
That's their time to shine.
Yeah, and they come out with a good game plan. They get the team playing a style of ball that helps, everybody out, the players they still have left, and they are still competitive. And that's what we were tonight. So overall, this honestly is a good coaching performance, good team performance, lots of good individual performances. It was an all-around collective effort. But this game just kind of shows what I've been trying to say, in that Stotts doesn't get a free pass because he has injuries. You know what I mean? He can still coach and he can still do positive things and get this team playing the right style of ball. If this team was stagnant all game long and didn't pass the ball, and it was just a bunch of Gary Trent Jr. and Carmelo Anthony one-on-one, and they only score 100 points, what are people saying? Oh, well, nothing they can do. They didn't have Dame or CJ, right? But it's not nothing you can do, because instead they played a good style of team basketball. So that's exactly my point in regards to that. Stott's not powerless. You can still play a good style of basketball even with what people would call mediocre players. And a good style of basketball can help you overcome what people would say are mediocre players and be competitive enough to win a game like this, especially when you combine it with the defense they played tonight.
Yeah, before I respond to that, there's been several donations to Sean Paul, 499. Donation says, I thought you were exaggerating, but Blevins is not a basketball player, wasted roster spot for sure. Yeah, I mean, anytime we only have 9 guys and someone doesn't even get in until scrub minutes at the end in a blowout, he's not very good. So
I wish I was Dame's cousin, man.
I still wish we used our two-way spots a little better for some better depth there, but hard to complain about anything that happened tonight in that regard. And then Mike B had a $4.99 donation, says Ellaby does what the other guards don't, scrappy D and rebounding. Love to see him fill in a role that isn't needed instead of forcing threes and doing too much.
I can't wait to talk about him, man, because we will get to him.
He had some impressive offensive rebounds, and at times in the first half kept us in the game from going down a little further, but we'll definitely get into him more later.
Yep. And then Andrew Miller, $100 donation. That's a season high. That's insane, man. I greatly appreciate it, bro. He says Rocco proved he was a defensive specialist on one play this game. He was switched on to Embiid, and instead of trying to go physically, he smartly would not let Joel make contact, forcing him off balance, completely denying the post up. Just a heady defensive play. That defensive play by Joel Embiid is, man, if you're young and you're in high school or something and you're, a guard, you're going to have situations where you get mismatched against a big. That was a perfect example of how to play that situation. That was extremely smart defense. Because you're not going to win a physical battle if you're undersized versus just such a physical specimen like a Joel Embiid, right? And that translates down to lower levels, high school. If you're 5'10" and 130 pounds like Reese's, you're not going to be able to to really hold your own physically against a guy that's 6'4" and maybe 220, right? But there are tricks. There are tricks, and the defensive specialists in the NBA use these tricks really well in situations where they're mismatched, and that was a perfect example of Rocco, not trying to bang with him, giving him space, but then also overplaying him to the point where he could deny the pass, right? You don't have to be completely up against somebody to deny that pass. That was just perfect defense. So glad you pointed that out, Andrew, because I definitely wanted to talk about that, and I might have forgotten it. And I also, that $100 donation means a ton, man. All I can say is thank you for that.
And there was also a play. It was one we were starting to blow them out, so it might not have seemed super significant. But there was a play where they had a wide open shooter in the corner, and his hustle got into the passing lanes and knocked the ball out of bounds. And stuff like that is the difference between someone hitting a three, and we got to stop on that possession, I believe. So just the hustle and getting into the passing lanes, getting your hands out there and denying a pass, even though you were beat and your guy was about to hit a three if they make a good pass, just keeping with the play and stuff like that. If all the players are engaged like that and doing the right plays and just being intense and giving that kind of effort, I think we would be easily at least 20th or better in defense just because of effort and intensity alone. And you saw that in this game, that you could be a really good defensive team even without once again, it's not like we had elite personnel on defense in this game or anything. So you can still have a good defensive effort as long as the players are playing the right way and you have a good game plan.
Yeah, you just got to be disciplined. There was far fewer, breakdowns. There was far fewer possessions where you didn't have people rotating out to the 3-point line or didn't have the right rotations. Like in terms of just the small executional things defensively, the Blazers were very impressive in that regard tonight. They helped properly. They rotated out well. They closed out well. They just overall played solid, sound defense, and that goes for everybody. Even the poor defenders in this game played solid, sound defense, and I've been saying that a lot of those aspects that we touch on, what people call poor defenders, aren't necessarily incapable of doing those things properly, right? People look at Melo, oh, he's a poor defender. Why? Because he's just unathletic at this point in his career. He's up there in age, right? And he struggles to move his feet. And the other thing is, his defensive positioning, and rotations aren't that good. But those final two things are things that he could do better, right? And he did a better job of doing those things tonight. So he was able to be more of a contributor to a sound defensive game from the entire team, right? A bunch of guys stepping up and just simply not making executional mistakes or having mental lapses. Just guys stepping up and doing that, even if they're poor defenders, can lead to decent defensive games. That's what you saw tonight. And that's why, not having Nurkic is an excuse for us to be, the 29th, 30th defense in the league, because the only way you're that low defensively is if you're making a bunch of those types of mistakes and having a bunch of those mental lapses and having breakdowns, right? Even against the Washington Wizards, we saw some of those. The second quarter, we gave up 40 points, right? There was a stretch in the fourth quarter. We gave up 4 wide-open threes without anybody within 20 feet of the shooter on 4 possessions in a row. Tonight, you didn't have those types of breakdowns, so that's why they were able to, despite Joel Embiid getting really hot and having a phenomenal game, he had 37 points in 34 minutes, they were able to basically just shut everybody else down. And you look at the three-point shooting numbers for them, 7 for 27. That's kind of the telling factor there. They were not getting open threes like most teams get against us.
And also, we started Melo and Cantor in this game, and everyone's been complaining about that the entire year. But this just goes to show you, if you have a good game plan, there are ways to scheme those guys into being good defenders. And I thought we did a good job. I'll get into that in a minute, but want to recognize this dono by Near Zero 12 first, $10. Lamar Hurd had a good point. Tonight was impressive because no one played out of their skill limit on the Blazer side, and Joel played the whole game. We beat the 76ers by playing good basketball.
Mm-hmm. Good team basketball.
Yep. I felt like almost all the plays we made on offense. And here's what I was saying. I've actually said this a lot. Like, passing and being a willing passer, you don't have to be a good passer. Like Hood, Mello, Cantor, these guys are not good passers if you look at their career and stuff like that. But you saw tonight, we run a backdoor play for Gary Trent. Cantor has the ball. He sees Trent puts a pinpoint pass to him for an easy lay-in. You saw Mello several times in this game make good passes. Early in this game, he had a post up. He had a quick spin move, could have shot the ball, but kicked out to, I believe, Trent, who hits a three. And later in the game, he had the ball up top, could have shot the three. Instead, zips a pass inside to Cantor for a wide open lay-in. And those type of things, I believe, like tonight, we went into this game thinking we have to play as a team if we're going to win this game or be competitive. We can't just go one-on-one and do these things. And I don't understand why we can't have that same mindset no matter what our personnel is. Because honestly, if we played with that kind of attitude where we were making the right pass and looking for guys in that manner, I don't think anyone could stop this offense.
Yeah. I mean, I 100% agree with that, man. And the thing is, that type of offense will help Dame and CJ get easier looks, right? Everybody talks about, oh, great isolation players, right? But they're still, even though they're great isolation players, they're great isolation players because they can hit tough shots out of isolation, right? CJ's a great isolation player because he can knock down a step back contested 3-point looks at a good clip. I'd still rather have him shooting open catch and shoot looks, right? That still is a better and higher efficiency shot. So that's why we should always try and move the ball better. Despite having great isolation players, that's why we should, the foundation should be ball movement, player movement, because not only will that help out guys like Anthony Simons, Gary Trent Jr., Rodney Hood, etc., but it'll also help out Dame and CJ, help them get better looks.
Yeah, and I don't think this is a case of Dame and CJ holding them back. It's just we're so reliant on them to have to break it down because we don't have this movement normally. And that's the problem is you saw several times like that back screen for Gary, there's different things you can do out of that. And we didn't really see that play again, but like, why not keep running that a few times and get the defense thinking that you're going to move, and then on the plays where you're stagnant, the defense thinks you're going to move, so they might be a step slower to get out on a shooter or something like that. But yeah, just overall mindset. I just don't, like you mentioned, I have never agreed with the fact that we needed a backup point guard more so than we needed a more structured offense that gets everyone involved. And to be honest, this is why everyone was freaking out about Embiid scoring 31 points in the first half. I thought that was the best possible thing that could have happened because he slowed the game down. Every possession, they were just going to him. He was dribble. He would shoot the ball. He only had one assist in that half. We were hitting shots on the other end. And when that happens, when you're hitting shots on one end and the other team is just passing to one player and standing around watching him do his thing, whether he scores or not, you saw in the second half of this game, none of the players on the Sixers were into this game. They all shot the ball bad the entire game because they weren't in the flow of the game and they weren't involved. On our end, all five players scored within the first few minutes. And it was like good basketball, like team basketball. Everyone was sharing. Everyone was like happy for each other if they scored. They didn't want to like just get their season high. Like they were happy that the other people were getting their shots too. But this is why we say when you stand around and watch like Dame and CJ, yes, there are games where they can score 50 points and win us games, but this is not how you win games overall by playing that way. And I just hope that they see the film on this and say, hey, look, when we get people involved, and look at the other team when they didn't get their team involved, how they just collapsed. And they didn't even show up in the second half because they were just standing around watching Embiid the whole first half. And that I think that was good. Whether he scores or not, threes are better than twos, and they didn't hit a single three in the first half. So I felt pretty good about how we were going to play in the second half.
Yeah, and here's the thing, too. Like, most of the time a guy goes off like that and we're criticizing, maybe the defensive scheme or the game plan or we're criticizing something, right? But when Embiid was going off, man, it was like we weren't playing bad defense.
We actually had some good double teams too.
Yeah, we had some good double teams, and we rotated well out of them, he went off in part because he's knocking down like crossover hesitation, like Kevin Durant-esque, like 16-foot jump shots, right? And you'll live with that. It's not like they were wide open for the most part. Like, we were doing an okay job of contesting them, you know. It's just, and some of his layups, some of his moves were phenomenal. It was more so than any other performance from an opponent player this season. More so than any time this season, it was like, wow, that guy's just playing out of his mind right now, and there's really nothing we could do about that. You know what I mean? But the game plan on him was solid. And here's the thing, right? If a guy is going off like that, it doesn't mean you can't still play good defense while he goes off, right? You got to take care of the little things beyond that, because if he's going off and they hit 10 threes in the first half, they're dropping 75, 80 points. You know what I mean? They're going off. You know, they probably wouldn't hit 10 because they only shot 10. So let's say they shoot 50%. That's an extra 15 points that half. You know, instead of going into halftime with it being 57-57, we're going into halftime down 15, 72-57, right? If they knock down half their threes. The thing is, that's happened a lot of times where teams have hit 50% of their threes in a half against us, because we don't do a good job of rotating out to the 3-point line. We don't do a good job of contesting it and things like that. So that's you know, an area of emphasis that needs to improve with this team, and that's what I've been saying all season long. And it's very nice to see them kind of put together a complete game where they're just not giving up wide open threes, you know, and playing good defense on Embiid. He's going off, but take care of the little things, and you give yourselves a chance at still having a good defensive game, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and then the other thing about the shots Embiid was getting, for the most part, the shots he was hitting were like mid-range jumpers. Mm-hmm. And we've talked, you know, in the past, Stotts has said that's what he wants the other team to take is mid-range jumpers. So this actually played right into our defensive hands, where, I mean, he got to the rim a few times, of course. He's really talented and can do that. But like, if he wants to just make or shoot 17 footers like the whole game, like that's like the best case scenario, I think, because they're not 3-pointers and you're not going to hit like 75% of them the entire game. So like, you're basically taking your whole team out of the offense and shooting the least efficient shot in basketball. So yeah, like, this is the type of thing, like, defend the 3-point line, defend the paint, let them shoot mid-range jumpers instead of giving them wide open threes, and I thought that played right into our defense tonight.
Yep. So overall, man, just very, very happy with this performance. And some people, you know, I don't know, I wasn't really on Twitter, but I assume there's probably people out there Stotts is a great coach. Look at the coaching job he did. And I would say he did coach a good game. This is why we've been criticizing him, is because he has the power to get an injured team playing still a good brand of basketball and still competitive, right? If we played this style of basketball in more games last season, you know, where we tried to do some of the things that we did tonight, and we came out with better game plans last season, we might have been the 6th, 7th seed, right? If we consistently did the things that we did tonight, we wouldn't be 12-9. We would be 15-6. We would be right at the top of the conference despite these injuries. We would be up there with the Jazz, with the Lakers, with the Clippers, right? We're still kind of hanging somewhat close. I mean, we're 3-4 games behind in that range. So, you know, take it. We have had an easy schedule, but like, if I mean, you're talking about blowing a game to the Bulls when we're up 20 and we have Dame, we have Nurkic, we have CJ, right? Like, there's no way that should ever happen. I know it happens occasionally in the NBA, but if they consistently did the things they did tonight, that would never happen. That game wouldn't have happened. That game would have been a win, and there would have been a couple other games on top of that so far this season where, if we just did some of the things that we've been saying this team needs to do, and if we did some of the things that this team did tonight, we would have won those games. You could point to a number of different games in that regard. So that's the thing. That's why we've been hard on the team despite the injuries. Is they're still capable of being competitive. They're still capable of playing a good brand of basketball and doing the right things. And basically, in the end, you just want to give yourself the best chance to win. They did that tonight. Other games, I feel like that's not necessarily the case because they haven't focused enough on the things that work for them and the things that we saw help them take care of business tonight.
And as Blockboy points out, that's the part that impressed him was that it didn't seem like at any point we were going to like blow the lead. We like just kind of cruised once we got the lead. Mm-hmm. And this is why we played the exact same way when we were up 15, 20 points that we did to get up that amount, right? Mm-hmm. You've seen in the games we struggle, the defense has to pressure more because they're losing and they play at a faster pace. And so we play right into their hands by, ISOing and getting Dame trapped and then not knowing what to do. And then we completely crumble and then our defense leaves shooters wide open and they hit threes and they get right back into the game in 5 minutes because they're getting a bunch of open threes and stopping us on the other end. But tonight you saw that where we were still moving the ball. We were still getting good shots in our offense. We weren't going ISO heavy. We were playing good defense. The players were still flying around trying to defend every shooter and all that kind of stuff. And that's how you keep leads in the NBA. You don't play conservative. You don't play not to lose. You play the way you got the lead. And I thought they did a great job of that in this game.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy how simple it is. You know what I mean? Yep. It's literally that simple. And that's why I didn't feel like they were going to blow it because it's not like other games where they build a lead, they build a 20-point lead, and then they completely change up the way they're playing because fans notice that, and that's why you get the feeling they're about to blow the lead. It's like, oh, well, here we go. It's the typical situation where they're going away from what's working, and now the Bulls are starting to make a run and starting to come back. That happened in both Bulls games this year, I mean, thank goodness for Damian Lillard hitting those heroic shots against the Bulls the second time around to pull us out, but that should have never happened, and that's why we weren't happy in that game because we went away from what was working. So it's honestly just a pretty simple recipe for this team, in my opinion. Move the ball and clean up the executional mistakes defensively. Clean up the little things. Have more attention to detail because I think they can be around an average defensive team if they pay more attention to detail and clean up some of the defensive things. If they're an average defensive team, they're winning. They're 15-6 right now if they were only an average defensive team, right? The reason they're not that good is because they've been bottom 1, 2, 3 teams in the league. They've been 28th, 29th in that range the entire time. So, it's literally that simple for me. Hopefully they can trend towards that. We'll have to see, but I'm happy that it was consistent tonight because only one other game this year do I feel like we played a decent team and we consistently played the right style of basketball and it helped us win. The other game being the Laker win earlier this season, right? You look at this game, you look at that game, and it's the style of basketball is what we need. We need to play like how we did in this game and that game consistently. And if we do that consistently, we give ourselves a great shot at winning night in, night out when we're healthy, and we give ourselves a decent shot at winning with the injuries. And I'll take a decent shot at winning. There's going to be times where we struggle due to not having a Dame, not having a CJ. But we got to give ourselves the best chance to win. And I think it's pretty obvious at this point what aspects of the game and what areas we need to focus on in order to give ourselves the best chance night in, night out.
And here's the deal with Stotts, okay? Torrey especially was willing to give him a chance to prove that he could game plan games like this season with better personnel and all that kind of stuff. And he absolutely laid an egg. I felt like earlier in the season, he reverted right back to his old stuff, his stubborn ways. As soon as we had a rough patch or whatever, or he saw something he didn't like, he just abandoned it basically and went back to the old defense. And here's the thing: games like this, if Stotts coached this way, and he uses this game to show that if he has better movement, if he has better plays, better structure on offense, in games when Dame and CJ play, if they have this kind of effort on defense, and he uses this game to show the team how to improve, and he gets them to play like this in the future, I will sit here and give him complete credit. But the problem is we see this game like this, and then what will happen the next time we have Dame and CJ back? We'll go right back to doing the same things that lose us games and have us losing games we have no business losing, like Philadelphia did tonight. So like this is my problem. Like, yes, if you just look in the vacuum and say, did Stotts coach a good game tonight? Absolutely, he did. The problem is, why not implement the things that worked in this game and you beat a good team on the road into doing that against teams when you have your full complement of players? And to your point earlier about the injuries last season, a guy like Nasir Little, who came in for 3 quarters, basically shuts down a Pascal Siakam. Siakam comes in the 4th quarter of a game, absolutely kills Mario Hezonja. What does Stotts do? He leaves Little on the bench the entire 4th quarter and just leaves Hezonja on him, and he gets torched, and we lose a game last year in Toronto, or at home to Toronto, that we shouldn't have lost. There was like I was reminded of this play earlier, the Korkmaz not switching the pick in the last 2 seconds, stuff like that. So like if he learns on those mistakes and does that, but then you have to hear, oh, we have injuries, Nurkic is hurt, what are we supposed to do? Well, you play like this. You don't whine that you don't have your center, you don't have Nurkic. You had Cantor in this game and you played beautiful defense. You cannot tell me that Cantor is incapable of playing on a team that has an average defense. Like, that's all we need the defense to be, is average at best, and we would be a like really, really good elite team. And so I just want to see Terry say, hey, look, guys, we have the personnel to do it. There's no excuse that we don't have injuries. Defense is an effort thing. It's a scheme thing. We will make sure we're putting you in the best positions to win these games. If you're not, you're going to be taken out and explained why you are not getting enough playing or more playing time until you improve on the defensive end. And I wish he would coach that way. And I feel like he could be a good coach if he did that, but I have no confidence that moving forward we will keep up this level of play that we did in this game. We'll just resort back to the old style.
Yep. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't going to be negative. You just took things down a pretty negative road there.
Well,
I mean,
I was just talking about all the people who are saying like, oh, well, the Fire Stotts crowd's awfully silenced tonight, you know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, those people, like, yeah.
Beavis said Danny Moran called this game reckless and that he never wants to see this kind of play again or something.
What?
Yeah.
From us?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. I don't think it was on Twitter. I think it was on Blazers Outsiders. But...
What in the world, man?
I don't
Maybe
know.
that's why we have more. I mean, we have more viewership right now because, I mean, very entertaining game, fun game. But maybe that's also a reason why we have more viewership right now. Because what the hell is that take? That is the worst take I've ever heard from him, and that's saying something, man. Like, I'm not. What is reckless? What is the... What? I don't understand. I'm not even going to think about this anymore because I'm going to give myself a headache just trying to understand what sort of viewpoint you could have to say that. Like, it's just... That's just ridiculous, man. Oh, my goodness.
Is Beavis trolling us?
I don't know. But I heard somebody else say he had a problem with this win, so, yeah, I don't know.
Why are you even watching him?
He said reckless for the Sixers. All right. Ban for Beavis. Near012 $5 donation. He said, what did he say? I guess he said it was reckless for the 76ers, and Beavis just completely misinterpreted it.
Beavis said he literally out of the gate called the game reckless and said most people want to see this style of basketball more. He says, I don't want to see this reckless post-game ISO.
Huh. I don't know. I'd have to watch it. If somebody could get the clip, if somebody could somehow clip that and tweet it at me, I would be I want to hear it, man. I mean, yeah. That's what you get over there. If people enjoy that, then more power to them. I just don't understand that. Appreciate the donation near 012. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, this style of basketball helps us play good basketball. Even with Dame and CJ, when we play this style of offense, we have our best offensive stretches. When we move the ball, when we get good shots, right? And those are the stretches that usually get Dame and CJ going, and then they start just dominate people in isolation, right? It's a pretty simple recipe for me. Some people disagree on that. I just think it's I don't know. I don't know how some people don't see it. That when we move the ball, we have really good offense no matter who's in the game. Dude, you're missing so many players tonight. You still drop 120 points, right? Some of it was the offensive rebounding, which was phenomenal tonight, but we got good shots, right? And if you have less talent, maybe you miss those shots, but at least you're getting good shots, right? Then you can say, oh well, we were injured and didn't have the best shooters out there, and they were missing good shots. Like, yeah, I'm down for that if we're getting good shots. So that's what it comes down to for this team, man. I don't know. What other team things did you notice tonight? Is there anything else just with the team that really stood out to you?
You touched on it. The rebounding was really good. For the most part, we kept them off the offensive rebounds. I didn't see their final number, but I felt pretty good about not giving them a lot of second chances. And then also, yeah, getting Cantor, man, is just a beast on the offensive boards. Even with Embiid in there, he's still got some good putbacks in this game. We had a lot of air balls or very errant shots. It was nice. It's nice to have a guy that just vacuums everything up and puts it back in. And then I don't know why Alex Wolf would say that. Alex, come on, man. But anyways,
that's weird because he's never been an issue in here before, so I don't know why he said that. Chat didn't get to see it because it was held for review. Okay,
but the offensive rebound too. It wasn't just Cantor. I mean, CJ Ellaby had a couple of putbacks in the first half, and Giles had some tip outs. Melo had a couple of plays that he tipped out. It was just really, really solid rebounding effort from this team. And once again, I mean, it's not like anyone going into this game would have been like, oh, CJ Ellaby's a dominant rebounder and Harry Giles has just been a force on the glass. Like, these are guys that are capable of doing stuff if you ask them to do it. And I just like their overall, like, it wasn't a case where you have a bunch of people standing around watching the ball when the shot goes up. They were all boxing out. They were going towards the ball. They were crashing. And if anything, it was Philadelphia you could see was the ones ball watching, and we snuck in there and got some balls that they should have had. And that's the difference in games like this, where you just outplay a team that has no business letting you stay in this game, and we blew them out.
Yep. So let's look at the team stats. Got a new slide for you guys that we'll be pulling out here. I actually closed out of it. Portland drops 121 points, but look at those rebounding numbers. 19 of those were offensive. We shot 17 more field goals than them, due in part to that. 17 assists, 12 turnovers. Honestly, like, a lot of our points came off of offensive putbacks, but overall I thought we got good shots. We shot 42% from three. Didn't finish too well inside the arc. We did an alright job of that. The stat line's kind of weird, man, because assists aren't truly reflective of ball movement sometimes, and that's the thing people need to understand. You have so many people that try and make black and white arguments about we're sixth-ranked offense and we're last in assists. That's why it doesn't matter if we move the ball. Ball movement and assists aren't directly correlated, right? And sometimes you have matchups that you should go mismatch advantages that you should go to. If Shake Milton is guarding Cantor, you throw the ball down to Cantor, he goes and gets you a bucket. It's stuff like that, right? If you get a steal on defense, and we had a couple of those, and you get the ball at half court and leak out, that's not going to register an assist, right? If you move the ball well, it might open up a driving lane for a lay-in, and it's pretty iffy on if that gets counted as an assist or not. But the good ball movement got the defense moving and created that driving lane in the first place, so it is responsible for getting you a good shot, even if it doesn't necessarily register an assist, right? Sometimes good ball movement will lead to you getting fouled. You might have a pretty good look around the rim due to good ball movement, and then you get fouled because of it. That doesn't register an assist. So I'm tired of certain people in here just harping way too much on assists don't matter, and arguing assists specifically, because it shouldn't be argued specifically, in my opinion. Overall tonight, the ball movement was much better than the assist number would indicate. That's why you got to watch the games instead of look at a box score and base everything based off numbers on paper. I don't like when people just base things off paper. This is a sport meant to be watched, not analyzed based off paper, right? And you got some people in here that just love to analyze things based on paper and based on the roster and based on assist to turnover ratio and assist numbers and where we rank and blah blah blah. Sure, you guys can use those stats to supplement an argument, but you need to have proper context, and that's the thing a lot of people miss out on. And that's what we try and provide here. We try and provide proper basketball context based on actually watching the game, backed up with statistical evidence. So overall, the assist number is not reflective of the ball movement. We moved the ball well tonight.
Well, like Joel points out, we had 5 assists at half, but 12 in the second half. So that was really good second half.
Yeah. I mean, and we made our run offensively in the second half. Would you look at that? 57 points in the first half. We had, let me just do some quick math, 64 points in the second half when we had more assists, right? So if you just want to look at things based off paper, there's a correlation between us getting more assists and scoring more points. Of course, they're tied. They're tied together, where if you make more shots, you're going to have more assists and more points. Obviously, that's why proper context needs to be provided with these arguments, and people like Portlandia, man, that's the one thing with your arguments that I wish you would do a better job of, is just provide better basketball context instead of just just looking at assist numbers and say we're last in assists and Charlotte's first, so therefore ball movement doesn't matter, because that argument is a straw man argument to me. But you look at Philadelphia, 18 turnovers. They were pretty loose with the ball tonight. They 7 for 27 from 3, 26%. That's a very low total for our defense to give up. That's phenomenal, man. And that's the thing. If we defended the 3-point line better, we'd give ourselves a much better chance at winning games. And I think that's pretty much the most important stat. The two most important stats here are the offensive rebounds and Philadelphia's 3-point shooting.
Yeah, and so if you just look at that, so the offensive rebounds, look at that. So we got 98 shots on the basket with basically the same amount of free throws, and they only had 81 shots, and that's huge. And also this game, we had several loose ball or steal situations that got us easy fast break points on the other end, and that's another thing that could really help us out against teams when we struggle to move the ball on offense, is getting out and getting on those fast break points and easy buckets.
Yep, 100% agree. Shout out Mike B, $5 donation. He says, Enes Kanter, the airball acquiescer. I probably said that word wrong, but looks like these injuries might help us figure out certain stuff in the long run. I hope so. That could be a silver lining, right? It gives young players some confidence. And hopefully it can help us figure out some things schematically or just based on our team play that we can use to be a better team later in the season that, maybe if we never got hurt, we would have never figured out. So that's the thing. You can take, just life, man. You can take negatives and turn them into a positive thing or create silver linings if you try to, you can learn from failure, and that could help you succeed later on down the road. You could be put in a tough position, but learn things from that position that help you out later down the road. And that's kind of the way the team is right now. So, it sucks. You never want guys to get hurt. I wish they could figure out these things without, injuries and never got hurt. That's the perfect world. But the silver lining is, it could help them later on in the season. It could help the young guys. Anthony Simons playing with more confidence now. Nasir Little, I want to see him follow up that 30-point game with some more good performances. I think he has the ability, just needs the playing time, which he wouldn't have gotten without these injuries. So, you can definitely take some silver linings from our tough situation right now.
And Portlandia obviously missed our show earlier today, where we specifically said we would not blame anything that happened in this game on Stotts. We would not crap all over him.
I said we could lose by 40. Lost. We could lose by 40, and I'm not going to be like saying negative things about the coaching just because of how, we're at a talent deficit, and without Dame and without CJ, and I mean, and I said there's likely going to be some problems with our play tonight that isn't due to not having those guys, but at this point, you're this hurt when you're missing Dame, CJ, and Nurk, when you're missing your best three players. At that point, I'm just like, man, I'm not even going to say anything bad. So it's kind of, I don't know. Don't put words in my mouth or anything like. If we lost, it would have been all Stott's fault. Probably it meant you don't know what you're talking about. We literally said earlier today, and that's the type of arguments that you make that get people annoyed at you. So yeah. Shout out Near Zero 12 $5 donation. Would you rather have 2 players scoring 50 points or 6 players scoring 10 points? That's ball movement. I mean, 2 players scoring 50 points adds up to 100, and 6 players scoring 10 points adds up to 60. I
think it's saying 2 players combined for 50. I think
2 players combined for 50, or 6 players. Yeah, I'd rather have the scoring load evenly distributed, because it's harder to, if one guy is scoring all your points, it's easier to adjust and take them out of the game and create issues for that offense, right? If you have 6 players scoring, you can't really, you can change up your defensive scheme or something like that, but it's a lot harder to slow that down if you have a balanced scoring attack. And here's the thing, if you have good ball movement, it's hard to adjust against that compared to, say, Dame's killing you off the pick and roll. It's really easy to just change your pick and roll coverage, start trapping, and then we fall apart, right? Whereas if we're moving the ball, what specific adjustment do they make? It's a lot harder to adjust it and slow that down. That's exactly why you'll have games where, we're moving the ball well, we're building a lead. We start running pick and roll. Maybe Dame scores a couple times to the pick and roll, but then, they adjust, they start trapping us. We don't have a good response to the trap, and we fall apart and give up big leads. That's exactly why. So appreciate the donations from Near 012 and Mike B.
This ties in with something Peace and Love was saying earlier, that you can't change from an ISO team because that would take Dame out of his strengths and all this stuff. So here's the deal. You play that way, right? Let's say we have a game where we have a balanced scoring attack and it's a close game. Then you let Dame do his thing at the end of the game like he did against Chicago. You win the game and everyone's happy, right? And if everyone feels like they contributed, instead of we all craft the bet except for Dame saved us at the end or whatever. And then, but on top of that, you might not even need Dame to be heroic or do those things at the end, because you might be blowing teams out instead of playing every game like a close game and doing that kind of stuff. So
and how does that argument? Let me just. I want to say something about that argument. Yeah. I hate that argument. That is a bad argument, in my opinion. It takes Dame's out of his strengths, man. He's really good at shooting step-back contested threes. You don't want him shooting wide open catch and shoot threes? Do you think he's going to make a higher percentage of step back contested threes compared to wide open catch and shoot threes? No, that's not the case. So that whole argument is just so flawed from the get-go. Dame, you need to isolate him and have him hit a bunch of tough shots because he's good at it. No, get him great shots because he's great at great shots too. He's going to shoot a higher percentage on easier shots. It's that simple. So if you can get him easier shots by moving the ball instead of having him isolate all the time, you do that. Those types of arguments are just so I don't know. They just drive me crazy, man, because it's obviously just people trying to make a specific point without actually thinking about what they're saying. So overall, it's if they played the style of basketball tonight with Dame and CJ, those guys would not. There would be many positives. A, they wouldn't have to expend as much energy on offense. They might be able to play better defense. B, they would get better shots and likely be more efficient. C, it would help other guys get going because they touch the ball more in an offense that moves the ball more. D, we'd be harder to guard in general. There are so many positives to it that you can list out. I'm probably missing some that you guys could probably point out in chat. So yeah, the style of offense, it works. It's best for us. We need to continue to do it long term. It's that simple. And then if we clean up the defensive mistakes, which are fixable, we can be an average defense. And honestly, this offense is so good, even with injuries, that if we play average defense, or maybe sprinkle in some good defensive performances in there, we're gonna win a lot of games. So I think this game was indicative of a lot of things that we've been saying all season long, and even going back to last year.
And here's the thing. You've said it multiple times. I've said it multiple times. It doesn't mean Dame and CJ can't ever ISO. It doesn't mean you can't give Melo a post touch every once in a while. How many times in this game there was a play that broke down or something happened? It's not going to result in a wide open shot every time. So those guys throughout the course of the game will still get plenty of opportunities to do whatever they want and make an ISO move and play that way. And we need them at some point to make tough shots and to do that, especially against tougher defenses. It's just, if you reduce the amount of hard shots they do, they could still score 20, 30 points a game. But if you're doing it on like 4 or 5 less shots per game, I don't see how that's a bad thing at all.
Yeah. So, little side note, all right? Little plug here, just in the middle of the stream. So, I will be reacting to the full highlights of this game for channel members. This is a perk that I promised you guys. I finally got the perks updated, and we're going to be rolling out all of those starting this month. I have created... Honestly, here's the deal. I don't know. Let me just explain what the deal is with this. So I created a third channel, Blazers Uprise Highlights, where for channel members we will have at least 4 videos a month where we're reacting to full game highlights that will only be available for channel members, and we will post that link in the community tab of this main channel, and only members will be able to see that link and view that video. We will also post some at least a couple, 2, 3, maybe more, for just anyone, not just channel members, and it will just be public on the Blazers Uprise Highlights channel, which is our third channel. We created a third channel for that because we don't want to deal with copyright issues on, our main channel or our Blazers Uprise Live channel. So I know, 3 channels kind of crazy, but they all have a specific purpose and they're all pretty obvious. So that Highlights channel, Eric created it instead of me so that it won't affect these 2 accounts if we run into issues, uploading highlights. We shouldn't, because the NBA is very lenient with it. But yeah, so if you become a member over here, you will get full access to everything that we post over there. I will post the link in chat if you guys want to subscribe, and I will also I will keep it at the top of the description as well. I'm putting it in there now. So yeah, if you guys want to subscribe to that, we'll try and get you. If you don't want to become a member or whatnot, then you'll have some content over there. But channel members will get full access. That's just a thank you for your support. And this game will be fun to react to. Honestly, this one I might just do as a for everyone, but at least for a month will be for channel members only. So the little plug out of the way. Let's get into the players. Let's talk individuals here. Let me change the slideshow to manual. And this is going to be fun, man. Who do you think is the first player? Because I was debating on who to put first, but I don't know.
The interview at the end was CJ Ellaby.
Yeah, that's not who I have first. I just put the best statistical performance first. Believe it or not, Block Boy, it's your special day. Melo is first. He was very, very good today. Played better defense than normal and was a very, they needed a veteran presence in that lineup. You look at it, efficient shooting night. 8 for 14 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3. Nice to see him hit some threes. He's really been struggling from the three-point line. He was 5 for 10 inside the arc, 50%. That's a lot better than his season average, so it's nice to see him string together a couple games in a row where he's hitting shots inside the arc because he's really struggled in that regard this year. But not just the scoring and scoring efficiently, but you also look at the assist numbers, 5 assists. He had some real nice passes, and that's the thing. Without a CJ or a Dame, guys that create a lot from the perimeter and are kind of the main distributors for the offense. Melo stepped up and played that role a bit tonight. So overall, this was maybe his most complete game of the season. This was maybe his best game of the season. If you take everything into account, overall, I'm very happy with what he did tonight.
Yeah, and I like the shots he took in this game. I felt like for the most part, they were really good. I felt like he was making quick, decisive moves. It wasn't just backing down his guy for like 3 seconds, then taking a turnaround or whatever. I mean, he did do that a couple times, but it was mostly there was a time he thought he got fouled, and there was a time when the shot clock was running down, stuff like that, which is totally excusable. But like for the most part, I liked that he just mostly did within the flow of the offense, got his shots. And I think he would be so much more effective player if he played more like he did tonight, where he isn't necessarily worried about touches. He's actually moving the ball well, making the extra pass, looking to pass a little bit, and then when he's open, take the shot. Yeah, if you're open and you're an NBA player, you got to shoot it. So I felt like he played the right way tonight. He played within the team concept, which is great to see. I know he's capable of that. I know a guy like Rodney Hood is capable of that. I know Gary Trent is capable of that. And I just like to see when it all comes together and all those guys play. They like went out tonight and said, like, we're just going to play team basketball. And I felt like they all bought in. And it just shows that that's a powerful thing if you play that way.
Yep, 100%. Shout out Andrew Miller for becoming an all-star member. You guys should recommend custom emojis. We actually have custom emojis for channel members too. So there's some of them. That clown is actually Chad doing dressed up as a clown. It's a little too small to see, but yeah. So if you guys have ideas for custom emojis, let us know. But overall, yeah, just it's nice to see Melo play a complete game. If he didn't really pass the ball well, I'd still be, all right with this performance. You're definitely all right with his efficiency and him scoring 22 points efficiently. But it's just nice to see him combine it with, he had some decent defensive possessions. He didn't really make as many defensive mistakes as he normally does, and he passed the ball well. So overall, it couldn't. This is maybe his best game of the season. Would you put it as his best game of the season so far? Blockboy, would you say this is his best game of the season so far? If you're still in here, or did you sign out before I actually praised Melo? If you left before if he left before I praised Melo, I was going to be triggered, honestly. So no, it doesn't hurt me at all. I'm very happy to say good things about Melo. I don't root against him. I don't hate him. Quit pushing that narrative, man. I'm happy with what he did tonight. Look at me, I'm smiling.
Rodriguez Joseph. I feel like it is.
I don't know
if he is or not.
I don't know. But yeah, would you say this is best game of the season, Eric? Would you put it there?
Yeah, I'd say easily. Yep.
Yeah. So very pleased with that performance. Next guy we have to talk about. Led the team in scoring, wasn't quite as efficient as Melo, but it was Gary Trent Jr., 24 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, 8 for 23 from the field, 4 for 9 from the three-point line. He was 4 for 14 inside the arc. Overall, okay performance. The only bad mark on his game is he's not efficient inside the arc, and that's kind of the case of the season. Bro, we have 3 guys on this team that are shooting higher from the three-point line than they are inside the three-point line. Gary Trent Jr. is one of them. Anthony Simons is one of them. Carmelo Anthony is one of them. That's kind of crazy. He needs to do a better job of picking and choosing his shots inside the arc, and I don't know, because the thing is, it's not like he's getting to the line by attacking either, so that's one part of his game he really needs to work on and figure out, because right now offensively he's a spot up shooter and can hit threes off the dribble and can hit some mid-range shots, but when it comes to like attacking the rim, he struggles in that regard. So that's really the only complaint about him though from this game is just his efficiency inside the arc, because he's 4 for 9 from the 3-point line. He's shooting 45% from 3 on the season, one of the best shooters in the league. He stepped up defensively, had a good defensive game for them tonight. So in terms of the 3-and-D archetype, role player, he fulfilled that to pretty much the fullest extent today. Played the most minutes, brought the energy overall. There's a lot of good things to say about this game from Gary Trent Jr.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you'd like to see him shoot better inside the arc. You take that out, just another solid game. Hit some open threes. Took a lot of, I would say, out of all the players, he probably had the worst shot selection of the night, and that's reflective of his field goal percentage. But I mean, there's going to be possessions where people have to take tough shots, so especially without Damon CJ, and he's obviously not to the level of Damon CJ yet. Yeah, it is overall a good performance. You'd like to see him shoot a little better, but no complaints from Trent tonight.
You gotta love the random ESPN ads in the middle of Eric talking. It's always when you're talking too. The ESPN just randomly started playing an ad. Like, I've had this tab open for for more than an hour, I think, at this point, and just decided, now's the time. Eric's talking about Gary Trent Jr. Okay, now I'm going to play an ad. I don't get it. Shout out Apple's 3 Australian dollar. I need to learn their currency. I don't know. Is it just Australian dollars? Yeah, he says, hey, I couldn't watch the game. Please explain. That's what this entire stream is, man. Appreciate the donation.
Basically, we dominated the Sixers. They're our babies. We fathered them.
Yep. Very
they got sun.
We're shocked. This game was amazing, a lot of fun. Kind of sucks that you missed him, man. It was a ton of fun. So yeah, good performance from Gary Trent Jr. tonight. Let's talk about Mike B says, nah, don't blame it on an ESPN tab. We know as Spotify playlist boss. I don't use Spotify. I use YouTube Music. I don't listen to music on my computer either. So, yeah, it's definitely the ESPN, man. It was a commercial for something. I don't know. But, moving on. Maybe the guy you guys were waiting for. The third guy we have... Oh, wait, no. CJ Ellaby's like fifth. I forgot. I thought I put him third. You guys probably were not all waiting for Enes Kanter, but Enes Kanter did have a good game tonight. 7 offensive rebounds is phenomenal. 18 rebounds, phenomenal. 17 points on 50% shooting. It's not great efficiency for 2-point shots, but overall, a lot of those are just coming up off of cleanup duty, so it's just extra shots. And that was maybe the biggest deciding factor in our win tonight, was just how well we did on the offensive boards. Having 7 offensive rebounds when you're mostly playing against Joel Embiid too makes it even more impressive. It's not like he was matched up against a Christian Wood or a Mo Wagner or a guy like that, a finesse perimeter based big that maybe isn't the best rebounder. No, he's going up against Joel Embiid and doing this. So overall, good performance from him. I think he did as good of a job as could be expected against Embiid. Embiid still went off, but overall, I don't really have anything to complain about in regards to Kanter.
One thing I love from Kanter tonight is the way he ran down the court on offense. It forced Embiid to have to use a lot of energy trying to sprint back to get him. It resulted in him getting a couple easy buckets or being in a position to get offensive rebounds. And I love the effort on that, especially knowing that you're going to have to play heavy minutes tonight. He was still consistently beating Embiid down the floor, and you'd love to see the effort like that. And this guy just brings it night in and night out, and you can always rely on him to at least have a good rebounding game and finish well around the basket.
Yep. I agree. I little detour. Mac Mole, or let me talk to Sam first. You just have to be any sort of member. You can be there's like a $2 membership and you can watch all of them. So, get upgraded perks as we go along. We'll be rolling all those out that are on there now this month. But yeah, to watch all the content that we upload on that Highlist channel is only the minimum membership is all it takes, man. Appreciate it. Mac Mole saying it's lame if multiple people want the same name in chat, so be it. It makes these streams more entertaining, in my opinion. We can't let two people impersonate somebody and make them look bad and have that issue. That is not acceptable. Yes. Chat would completely break down if we let people do that.
And this is what's happening. There's multiple Portlandia accounts, multiple Portlandia 2 accounts. These guys are mocking and trolling another person, and we just want everyone to respect that everyone has their own opinions and are their own person, and just be yourself. Don't try to impersonate someone else or do that. There's no place for that here. We're all Blazer fans, and we should all appreciate everyone. And it's okay to have discussions and disagreements and stuff like that. But if you're just blatantly trying to troll or abuse someone else, then that's not fair in my mind. So I'll just ban you if you continue to do it.
Yeah.
But thank you for changing your name. ISO.
Oh man, he still has the P as his logo too, so that's funny. CJ asked, what are the perks for the highest member? If you click the join tab, it'll have them laid out there for you. Shout out near 012 $5 donation. Come on, you know how us Blazer fans love underdogs. Give us Ellaby or give us death. We will get to Ellaby. You know, the thing is, once we're done with Ellaby, our viewership is going to drop from 260 to 20 because that's all you guys care about. So we got to keep you in here a little bit longer. You know, it's a tactic, right? So you know, help our watch duration a little bit, you know, longer, you know, since I know you guys are all anticipating us bringing him up. He is going to be after Rodney Hood. All right, so we're almost there. Stick with us, man. We have to talk about Rodney Hood having a good game. Sorry about it. Appreciate the donation near 0. Rodney Hood had a good game. Looked like his old self. He got some good shots off on drives that he missed. He missed some good shots, but just the fact that he was able to get to his spots the way he did tonight was very encouraging. He did a really good job of getting to his spots. Still, I mean, he's shooting 2 for 2 from 3-point line. That's good. 50% inside the arc. That's solid. 16 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. I think he played. Had some good defensive possessions. I mean, you can pretty much say that about anybody tonight. Everybody played decent defense, in my opinion. Overall, good game for Rodney Hood. Good. He's played a lot better in the starting lineup. I hope we can get him going like this while playing off the bench, because once everybody's healthy, he'll likely be back to the bench. But if he's playing like this off the bench, he lifts our bench up a ton. Just because this is a starting caliber performance from him, and it's kind of the Rodney Hood that we used to know. I think, you know, if he was maybe all the way back, he maybe goes 10 for 14 tonight and has 22 points because he got to his spots. He got a lot of shots that he liked tonight. Made a decent amount of them, but he got some really good shots off, and I wouldn't be surprised if later down the season he has more efficient nights than even this, if he's getting those same shots off.
Yeah, really, really good game from Hood. I especially like the way he ran the offense and kind of got people into the flow. He did, take it upon himself to score too, which is part of his game. He can't just completely take that out. But I felt like, at least initially, they were trying to make him the de facto point guard, and I thought he did a really good job of getting the team into the sets. And for whoever's controlling the ball up the court, I felt like he would get the ball to wherever the mismatch was or wherever they had the opportunity to score. And it's a really underlooked quality of a point guard. It's not about necessarily the amount of assists you have, like we were talking about earlier. It's more just getting the players in the right positions and passing to the player that has the advantage and stuff like that. And I thought he did a really good job of just calming the team down and setting them up and making sure they were doing the right things.
Yep. We'll give you guys what you want right here, right now. We're just going to move on to good old CJ Ellaby. 15 points, obviously a career high. 7 rebounds, 2 blocks, 5 for 9 from the field, 1 for 5 from the 3-point line. You know what's funny is going into like the draft, his biggest strength was his shooting. But tonight he did everything well except for shoot threes.
Yeah.
It's dude, like his first 2 buckets came off of offensive rebound putbacks. He had 3 offensive rebounds. Yeah, like he's the Enes Kanter of shooting guards apparently. He was really solid tonight, and he made a positive impact on this team. His defense impressed me. Okay, his defense is impressive for a rookie, right? And he wasn't labeled as like necessarily a good defender coming into the league, but I've seen enough from him that I feel comfortable with him defensively. He's active, he plays with energy, he moves his feet well, he is pretty sound, pretty fundamental.
The only thing I'll say to that is he's got to stop biting on pump fakes. He gets caught off.
Yeah, that's the thing with most young players.
Yeah, young players are going to do that. But you heard this when Gary Trent came in the league. Yeah, he was considered a good shooter, but like he knew he could shoot as well as he could. If he couldn't play defense, he wasn't going to get the minutes. And that's one thing he put in the time to make sure he was playing his butt off on the defensive end. And I think you're seeing that same mindset with Ellaby. He knows he's not going to get a huge amount of touches or plays ran for him on offense. So he's got to make his mark when he gets an opportunity on the defensive end. And I thought he absolutely hit a home run on that end of the floor tonight. He was active. He was staying in front of people. Like you said, he was boxing out. He was, like getting in guys defensively in his stance and not letting them get by him very easily. And the kind of effort we need those guys. Like that's what's missing out of this team. And who knows if he'll get an opportunity much more past the next couple of games while we have injuries. But like just knowing that you have a guy that maybe if you need a defensive stop, you can put this guy in the game in a defensive lineup or something, and maybe you have something, or if you need a bunch of stops or something. And then on the offensive end, it's like what we talked about with Kanter. It's like this guy kind of basically made his own offense out of nothing. Like he gets offensive rebounds and he's in the right spots and I really like the flow to his game in this one.
Yep. Came in, looked comfortable, and before this game, I was saying if I'm Stotts, I'm just saying, hey Rook, you're getting at least 25 minutes tonight. You know, no matter how you play, you know we have to play you. But if you make 5 mistakes, we can't take you out of the game. So don't worry about making mistakes. You know, go out there, play with confidence. You're not going to have to worry about getting taken out of the game. You know, and that's the thing with young players is when they know that they're going to get minutes and they know that they're going to get a chance and consistent playing time, they play better, right? And I can kind of speak to that from experience, you know, my college experience. Like, it's hard when you know if you make one mistake, you're getting yanked out of the game. It makes it a lot likely for you to make that mistake and then you get yanked out of the game. And sometimes you just need consistent playing time and consistent minutes despite what you do in order to play better, in order to build confidence. And he looked confident tonight, and he really got after it. Now, his 3-point shooting, if he can figure that out, man, if he shoots 3 for 5 from tonight, he's dropping 21, you know? That's the thing, is he was labeled as a shooter. I don't know what kind of has happened to that, because he's airballed a 3, and, he's been off a bit with his shooting, but it's encouraging that he's doing, he's playing good defense and rebounding the way he is and providing more than I expected him to be able to do. I thought he was just a shooter when we drafted him, and he's shown to be much more than that early on in his career. We weren't expecting him to have any sort of positive impact this year. He's already helped us win a game and had a positive impact against a decent team. So, yeah, man, very, very happy for him. Very, happy. It's always nice to see young guys stepping up and having huge games. You could tell that the team was very happy for him. Gary Trent Jr. was very happy for him. It's fun. It's fun when young players step up and have big games. And Nas's 30-point game, and now LOB's 15-point game. It's always fun, and that's the silver line with injuries is these guys get a chance to have nights like this. Shout out Near 012 $5 donation. He's a large guard, great tempo, and can defend, and his basketball IQ is better than expected. Yeah, I didn't really expect him to have any point guard skills, but he looks like, maybe he could be a, like he's 6'6", so maybe like you look at how a Thomas Satoransky is, maybe in that mold. That might be like kind of how he projects long term, which would be an intriguing player, to say the least.
Yeah, like Reese likes to say, Olshey doesn't miss in the draft. I don't know if we can make that conclusion or any kind of conclusions yet, but he's looking like a really solid player. I was happy he got a chance tonight and that he played well in that opportunity.
Yeah, bless you. My goodness. Yeah, so I don't know.
Another $5 donation from Near Zero.
He changed his shooting technique his last year of college. Yeah, he was a better shooter than this, though. I don't know if it's a confidence issue, if it's a 3-point distance issue. I don't know, but I hope he figures it out, because if he can shoot the ball at a decent level, I could definitely see him being a role player in the NBA. I mean, you just compare him to like Alan Crabb, man. Alan Crabb never played defense as well as CJ Ellaby played tonight. Alan Crabb couldn't handle the ball or do anything off the dribble. He didn't hustle. Has Alan Crabb had 2 putbacks in his career? Probably not. CJ Ellaby had 2 right off the bat in this game. So, yeah, I mean, you just look at like Alan Crabb, who was another second-round pick of Olshey's. Like, the one thing he could do is he could shoot the ball, and that's why he had a role. If CJ Ellaby can figure out his shot, he'll be at least a fringe rotation player on a good team once he develops more and once he gets older.
Yeah. So I wasn't super happy with the pick. You can see our reaction if you watch our draft stream.
It was just so random. Like, it's just so unexpected. Like, and he wasn't really projected to get drafted. He was like a fringe late second, we took him in the middle of the second, so it was just surprised, and I was like, why him? It was, but then I also said, Olshey has a history of hitting on these, so I'm gonna give him a chance.
But there's, I don't know, it's like if we would have drafted someone else there and got CJ Ellaby on a 2-way, and he was our 2-way instead of Blevins right now or something, like, would we be in better position? I might be nitpicking a little bit, but I did mention in preseason that, like, I think this guy might have some hidden playmaking ability eventually too, and I think you're seeing that he might have the ability to kind of break down a defense sometimes, maybe play a little pick and roll, and if he can develop into a high 30%, low 40% 3-point shooter, this is another guy that could really help us win games, especially if he's bringing this level of defensive intensity.
Yeah, and what's funny is, that play where he had the assist to Anthony Simons in transition? On that play, I'm like, he's really just going to dribble himself into a sandwich between 2 defenders and lose the ball. Like, I thought for sure, this is going to be a turnover. Like, a rookie turnover, he's trying to push the pace, and he has 2 guys sandwiching him, running at him. And then, like, once those guys get there, he immediately just kicks out to Anthony. And Anthony hits the 3. It was like, okay, I didn't expect that to go well. Like, good play. Good play then, Rook. Because I feel like a lot of rookies will just try and push there and try and get into the paint. And will have just guys converge on him, and it'll just end up in a pretty much automatic turnover. So that play, it was like, that's what I was expecting. He kicks out to Anthony. He sees Anthony and makes a very quick pass out to him and led to a 3.
Yeah, just happy to see him have a good game. And for another thing for you young players, if you can play defense, get your hands in passing lanes, get steals, that's a good way to earn playing time with your coaches. Especially, I was expecting him to throw down on that. that
he almost had that putback dunk too.
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh my goodness.
So awesome. Like, that got me out of my seat for a second.
I know. That was insane. So here's the thing. Yeah, for you, since Eric brought this up, you young players, man. If you become like if you focus on defense and become a good defender, and that's why you're getting playing time, it's almost like when you go into games, you don't have to worry about anything, because if you know how to defend and if you play with effort, like, you're going to do the job that you were brought onto the court for. Whereas if you have to rely on like being a shooter, right? Like you could easily have a 0 for 2 night and get yanked. You know what I mean? And then you're stressing about your shot, worrying about your shot. And it's a whole mental thing where like some nights you'll have your shot, some nights you won't. Whereas defense, you can bring it every single night. So that's the thing. That's why I think young players focus too much on pretty offensive things and shooting the ball and whatnot. Focus on defense. And if you're able to, become a good enough defender that's why you're getting minutes and then add offensive things to that, I think mentally it honestly might be easier for you.
Yep, completely agree.
So let's move on and talk about Anthony Simons, 14 points, 2 assists, 4 for 9 from the field, 2 for 7 from the 3-point line. Had a couple nice drives, was 2 for 2 inside the arc, had a nice scoop shot. It's nice to see him attacking the rim. He hasn't quite shot the ball necessarily as well as he was a few games ago, but this was a game in which he was limited. He's dealing with a hamstring issue. Only played 19 minutes. Still had a positive impact on this game. Had 2 assists. Had 2 assists is it's not good necessarily for a point guard, but it's better than what he was. I still want to see his playmaking improve. He had a bad turnover on a pass he tried to thread to Giles where he probably should have just shot a little floater. But overall, it's he looks so much more comfortable out there this year than he did last year. Like you can just watch him and he looks so much more confident, so much more comfortable. Looks like he's at least seeing the game decently. He's not necessarily seeing passes or passing opportunities as well as you would hope. But overall, he looks like he's much more comfortable in the flow of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that play with 5 seconds left in the third quarter where he took it strong to the rack and got an easy lay-in because of it. I like when he attacks and I like when he goes strong to the rim. And it was a really, really cool thing to do.
Yep.
And I thought I was a little disappointed that he had especially in the first half, that he had the minutes restriction because he was playing really well, shooting really well. I thought that kind of got him out of the rhythm, having to sit, and then he came back in the second half, didn't quite shoot as well then. But yeah, it's been fun seeing Simon's development. I still have high hopes for him.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like he comes in and hits some shots where it's just like, man, this guy looks like he could be just a legit sixth man. I mean, that pull-up 3 just got so much lift, and it's like nobody's gonna bother that shot, that 3 in which he got that pass from Ellaby. He got a ton of lift on that, and then he hit one off a screen. He's starting to do more of that, which is kind of Dame-esque. You kind of see some Dame in that. So, he's still growing. I mean, as a player, he's only 21 years old, so he's still very early in his NBA career. He was shooting 40% from 3 going into tonight. Problem is he hasn't been too efficient inside the arc. The next evolution for his game, much like Gary Trent Jr., will be figuring out ways to efficiently attack the basket and hopefully get to the free throw line as well, because once he does that, he'll be a complete scorer. Definitely want to see the playmaking improve, but that's not necessarily what he is as a player. He's a microwave scorer, combo guard, right? Kind of your prototypical sixth man. Hopefully he becomes a good enough playmaker where, he can keep defenses honest and help the offense flow. Overall, though, I've been encouraged by what I've seen. It's not even necessarily anything statistically outside of the three-point shooting. It's just the way he looks on the floor, because somebody said in chat, he looked like a deer in the headlights last year. I don't see that at all this year. He looks a lot more confident. Yep,
and I feel like his defense is better. I feel like he is a little bigger, physically too, and I think that's helping him a lot too. And he's another one of those guys where if he could become a even an average to a slightly above average defender on that end, it'll make his overall game so much better and get him more playing time because of not being a liability on that end of the court. And we need players to not be liabilities with how bad our defense is. So the more players that step up like that, the better.
Yep, agreed. Next guy we got is going to be Robert Covington. 9.6 rebounds, 4 steals, 1 for 4 from the 3-point line, 4 for 9 inside inside the arc. He's gotten better at slashing and finishing around the rim. He was terrible for a stretch there earlier this season, but he's doing a much better job of attacking the rim and finishing inside when he does attack. He was 3 for 5 inside the arc. His three-point shooting, he had that big game last game. Would have liked to see him follow that up, but 1 for 4. Not necessarily not a good night, but it's not terrible. He's had nights where he's 1 for 6, 1 for 7. I still think, like bro, when he's going to have a stretch this season, in my opinion, like 10 games where he shoots 50% from 3. And he's just going to be so amazing once he does that because of all the other things he does. And then people will truly understand why he was such a good addition. Tonight he played a really good defense. He had a couple breakdowns here and there, but that happens. Overall, you look at 4 steals, that's very, very good. A decently efficient night from the field, but overall, took the right shots, made the right plays. That's the thing, he doesn't try and do too much. Some players, that's why you can't base games off stat lines, because a player that tries to do too much, maybe pounds the ball a little too much, will stall the offense and kind of hurt the offense in general, even if it's not leading to them necessarily missing a shot or turning over the ball or whatnot. But he even on nights where he's efficient, he helps the offense flow. He makes the right pass. He makes the right decision for the most part on when to shoot or when to quickly move the ball. And then obviously all the things he brings defensively. So overall, solid game from Roko. Hope the 3-point shooting can improve. Hopefully we see more of the Wizards game. But he doesn't have to shoot the 3-ball well to help the team win, and you saw that tonight.
And here's the thing. You touched upon it. In a game like tonight, you're going in, you're going to play big minutes. You're down most of your offensive weapons. You're going to get a bunch of shots. But this guy just plays within this game and takes his normal amount of shots for the most part, And that's like a good team player right there, where he was 1 for 4. He's been, struggling from his 3-point shot. He didn't jack up like 10 threes tonight trying to get going or thinking, I have to score as many points as possible because we don't have Dame or CJ tonight. I felt like someone like Bazemore last year would come in the game and like think he has to score 20 points or something to be effective, instead of just like shooting shots when he's open and playing good defense. And it's been a while since we've had guys like this who play within their role so well and can play solid defense and just do the little things that we need to win games. And I'm sure he doesn't care that he only had 9 points while everyone else had a lot of success tonight scoring the basketball. I'm sure he's just happy with the win and that he did his part for it.
Yep. Henry Hall says that just a random comment. I was going to time my response, but he says, I still haven't given up on Swanigan for reasons I cannot explain. LMAO. Even Swanigan has sadly given up on himself. Hopefully that guy gets the help he needs and can just lead a good life outside of basketball. Next guy we got to talk about is Harry Giles. Is the last guy. Only 8 players made an impact tonight. 9 players played, but whoa, we ain't gonna talk about
that was bad.
Dude, okay, let me just say something about Blevins. I see him play, or I saw him play today, and I feel like I would have maybe looked better out there than him. That's how he just doesn't look like a basketball player, man. Like, I think I at least would have hit rim. Like, there was like a foul on the perimeter and he shoots a 3 and airballs it, and it's like, in a layup where it just bricks a layup, and it's like, I know it's the NBA, maybe I'd look worse or whatnot, but there shouldn't ever be a case where I think I would look more like an NBA player than a guy in the NBA, but that's the feeling I get sometimes watching him play.
I forgot who it was, but the play before that, he had a nice cut down the lane and someone fed him, and he wasn't even close on the lane.
Yeah, man, it's rough, but they did it for Dame, so that's just what it is. Harry Giles, 4 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 for 4 from the field. He's been rebounding better lately the past couple of games. I like to see that. He struggled defensively today. He was the only player that I can say struggled defensively today. I think he's better in a scheme that has him trap and has him hedge and kind of contains perimeter penetration, and he's a mobile big and can help contain perimeter penetration on the pick and roll by playing up on it. But when he's tasked with like being a rim protector, that's not necessarily his strong suit, it seems like so far. But outside that, this is a solid game from Harry Giles. He had a nice kind of garbage time transition drive and lay-in. He had a left-handed in and out dribble, and here's what I noticed with him. Like preseason, the games didn't count. He played with a ton of confidence. Garbage time, like he makes some plays where it's like, man, he looks good. In meaningful minutes, it doesn't seem like he's playing with the same confidence he did in preseason or in garbage time. Like he does. I don't think he makes that move, that left-handed in and out move and drive if it's like meaningful minutes in a close game compared to garbage time, right? But it was a good move. It got him a lay-in, and he finished it. So I think the step to unlocking Harry Giles for me, I still truly believe in his talent. And this is a solid game, it's an all right game. So it's not like this is a bad game or anything, but the key to unlocking his talent is getting him to play with confidence and getting him to just not think, because it seems like he's thinking out there, he's not just going out there and playing. He's overthinking things, and he's not playing with a ton of confidence in the meaningful minutes. And I think that, if we could get him playing with confidence and not thinking the game, or overthinking the game, then he would play good and he would be better. I think that's kind of the most important thing with him right now.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get him involved the same way we get Nurk involved some games, because he likes to show off his passing and stuff. I felt like that Cantor play where you have Trent going back door, if that was Giles making that pass, that might get him going a little bit if he makes a nice pass like that. But I mean, the games he's gotten minutes, I feel like he's rebounded enough and pretty well. Obviously not scoring a ton or being asked to play make or whatever. A game like this, you might have thought he could have done a little more. We probably should have gotten him a little more involved. But I mean, it's hard to complain or nitpick again about anything.
Yep. So that wraps up the individual players. Let me know in chat if you want to watch the press conferences and who specifically.
They're saying CJ Ellaby's.
I'm down to watch Ellaby's.
Blockboy and several others were mentioning a comment Stotts made about ball movement in one of his questions that I think we need to listen to real quick.
Okay, we'll watch Stotts's too. Let's I'm trying to there's the channel. So whose do you want to watch first though?
Let's do Ellaby. Let's reward Ellaby tonight.
Okay. Let me mute this. You guys don't need to see a TurboTax ad. Oh, it didn't let me skip that one. Now it's an ad on. I can't even say what the ad was on. What the hell? I saw the closed caption. None of you will understand why I'm laughing right now. Anyway, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Scalabrini said, Cantor in the post-game said Ellaby is the first one in the gym and the last one to leave, which is good to hear too.
It's good to have a hard worker. Yeah, that second ad just I can't even say it, man. I'll tell you after, Eric. That's what in the world.
It's specific for Tori's needs.
What are you talking about? What's specific for my needs?
Nothing. I don't know. Something Shervin said. Who's
a Shervin? What are you trying to diss me with right now? Cody, no. No, I wouldn't be laughing at a Viagra ad. Like, just think about, when you inflate basketballs, but like, maybe, it's not necessarily a basketball, and something about rats to do that with. Just your mind can run with that where it may. Yes, that is basically what the closed captions were on the second ad. That's why I was laughing. So yeah, let's watch CJ Ellaby. My goodness, that hair. Here we go.
CJ, can you take us through the process you went through mentally, knowing that you were going to have to play a lot tonight? And I think you came in with 44 minutes or so on the season or something like that. And then sort of how you prepared yourself mentally, and then how that translated into your performance on the court.
Yeah, I really just tried not to think too much, and trust my teammates. We all brought energy tonight, and it was contagious. And, I try to let go and not think too much and just think the game through. And
the audio is not synced on this video, by the way. That's not a me issue. That's the video.
It went well tonight. We got the job done.
Were you nervous at all? And was there a point during the game where you felt your confidence building that I belong and I can do this and do it well?
I felt pretty comfortable all game, and it's just a credit to our defense. Like I said, we got our energy from defense, so I felt like offense just came. We always can score, and I think once we focused on defense, that side kind of took care of itself.
Thanks.
Jason Quick, The Athletic. Go ahead, Jason Quick, The Athletic.
CJ, what makes
it's always that delay. Jason Quick takes so long. I don't know what the issue is with that. It's so weird. Need to ask him that on Twitter or something. I don't get it.
CJ, what makes this win gratifying to you?
Gratifying?
Okay, that's a bad question. Jason Quick, you're better than that. even he is like, what? Like, bro, he played his first meaningful minutes of his NBA career without a bunch of people against a good team, and they won. Like, obviously it's gratifying for those very reasons. Like, you already know the answer. We all know the answer. I don't understand that question.
CJ, what makes this win gratifying to you?
Gratifying?
Yeah.
Just because we're out so many guys, and I think coming in, we just kind of was like, we'll play hard, and kind of see where the night goes. But I think as the night went on, we started to believe that we could get the job done, we could really win, and that momentum carried through the whole game. I think from the first to the fourth, we played a pretty solid game all around.
Jamie Hudson, NBC Sports. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jason.
Go ahead.
Jamie Hudson, NBC Sports Northwest.
CJ, what conversations did you have with your teammates before the game, and then after the game? We obviously saw Gary rooting you on, and then I know you were talking with Dame on the sideline a lot. What conversations did you guys have?
Before the game, it's just be ready. You never know whose number was going to get called tonight, and just to be ready. And then during the game, just quick pointers about where I need to be, what I need to be thinking about, what I should be talking myself through on defense. That's kind of the main thing Dame was saying to me. Just try to be vocal. And talk yourself through it so it's a little easier. You don't have to kind of think it all in your head. You can be vocal about it. And I think it just, when we all were on the same page out there tonight. After the game, it was just celebration. We got the job done, we got the win, and everybody was excited because, got it done.
Next question, Nick Krupke, Fox 12.
Hold up. Okay. Back to the interview.
CJ, you're playing it cool.
Westbrook said, "Let's go Lakers" in chat. I had to put him in a 5-minute timeout.
He has a chance to go 6-0 today if Lakers win.
I don't care. You say "Let's go Lakers" in chat. Just a 5-minute ban, man. Now I understand the context. I thought he was just saying it just to say it. But I haven't handed out a fun 5-minute ban in a while, so there you go, Westbrook. Honestly, I'm down for you to go 6-0, man. You're on a roll. So yeah, take that go. Let's go Lakers and go, root by yourself. Don't infect our chat with that propaganda.
Man, but just what's the significance of being able? I mean, you've thought of this moment for so long in your life to have a starring role in an NBA team, and your night it finally come, man. It's got to be kind of a pinch me moment there.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited, and just is a great night, a great win against a great team, a really solid team who was out Simmons tonight. But like I said, it was just a different energy with the team, and from top to bottom, we got it done, and everybody was cheering. Even guys on the court, it was just a celebration tonight, and we got the win.
Going back to Jason Quick with the Athletic.
CJ, what do you think you'll remember most about tonight besides the win? I know the win is very important, but what is going to stick in your mind about tonight?
Honestly, one of the things that's going to stick in my mind is getting to play against Matisse Thybulle. Growing up, we played against each other in the Metro League.
Washington State, baby. Washington products right there. Shout out RIP Blazers, $2 donation. If Nuggets lost, we ahead of them in standings. Yeah, we'll take a look at the standings after these interviews.
Got to play against them in the Pac-12 against UW. So really just one of
Metro
the things
League,
that's going to stick is getting to play him, seeing him out on the court, and just getting to compete. We growing up got to, compete against each other. So just to be at this level and to be able to do it today, it was a blessing.
And then can you peel back the curtain a little bit, like what today was like for you in the hotel room before you're going to the arena and knowing that you're going to play?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I tried to shut out, a lot of my thoughts and really just remain calm, and kind of focus on my breathing and just, do the little things so I wasn't too anxious, too worked up, but just kind of let the game take it where it went. And, just the momentum we had out there, use that as a propeller, and I feel like that benefited me. I watched some Naruto, some anime, and I felt like I was just really focused. I was resting, stretching.
That's not what I was expecting from a post-game. Man, I just, I relaxed with some anime, with some Naruto. I mean, Cole, man, he's into what he's into. Like, no judgments here. That was just unexpected.
I'm surprised he actually said that.
I was like just chilling throughout this post-game conference, and just that was a surprising comment. But Cole, man,
But just kind of
I think Harry Giles like anime too.
Just the momentum we had out there, use that as a propeller, and I feel like that benefited
use
me.
that
I
propeller,
watched some
man.
Naruto,
That hair as
anime,
a propeller.
and I feel like I was just really focused. I was resting, stretching. I got in the ice bath a little bit and soaked in some cold water. So I really just trying to get my mind right all day.
I'm sorry, what is that what you're watching?
Naruto.
He's saying it so
I'm a
confidently
big
too.
anime guy. I like those shows.
Oh, okay.
He said, "Oh, okay." What?
He looks like an anime character. So.
Oh man, bro, he said, "Oh, okay." The way, bro, why's our media gotta be so awkward?
I don't know.
Just be like, that's dope, man. Like something like that, Oh, okay. Just like, oh man, you need some young people in media, man. You got Fentress and Dwight James and Jason Quick, man. You need to give us a press pass, man.
A lot of those guys probably don't even know what anime is.
I know. Like he probably did not know. Like Jason Quick's gonna go search up Naruto after this. That's funny.
RIP Blazers, another $2 donation. Says CJ is go to Naruto. Goat Bleach is better.
I'm confused. Even I'm confused, and I'm not a boomer. So appreciate the donation though. Terry Stotts, y'all want this, so here you go. We will listen to Terry Stotts.
Coach, I imagine.
Can you tell I'm thrilled for this?
You're proud. What makes this win
Shouldn't
so
be too
gratifying
bad though. We won. So
I think most times when you get a win like this, when you have a lot of your players out and everybody rallies together, a little bit like winning in Washington when we relied on just a few players, but you get happy for a lot of people. Right, this is Robert Covington's first win in Philly since he's been back here.
Oh wow.
CJ Ellaby had a great game for a rookie. He hasn't had much chance to play. Rodney did a really good job at point, a position that he doesn't play very much. I thought Ennis really battled Embiid, particularly in the second half. It's just you go up and down line, there's contributions from everybody.
Next question, Dwight James, NBC Sports Northwest.
Right, we got
Terry,
a ton of bird
won
treasure.
a lot of games in Portland, but I'm wondering if you can provide perspective. Regular season wins, this has to be one of the most memorable.
I don't know. You're right. I've been here a long time. It will be a memorable win. It's hard to compare to other wins, but it was, it's one that I can't compare them to other ones, but it was certainly memorable. It will always be a memorable win.
Jamie Hudson, NBC Sports Northwest.
CJ Elby was telling Brooke that in that third quarter it was about their defensive effort, and I want to know what you thought of your team on that end, and then also just to come out like that in the third quarter.
Third quarter, we played well at both ends. We made a lot of shots. I don't know what the run was at the start, 12-0 run or whatever it was, but we were aggressive. We double teamed.
What was that flash?
We double teamed Embiid to change things up a little bit. Even though they made some shots out of that, it changed the game a little bit. But third quarter, especially on the road, it's can really be a swing quarter, and it made the difference.
Next question, Aaron Fentress, the Oregonian.
Did you feel at all that the players maybe played with a little bit more zest without Dame? I'm not saying they'd be better without Dame long term. I'm just saying that more ownership of the game, more attention to detail, because they didn't have that all-star to lean on. They knew that collectively had to play well together.
I don't think it's unusual that when a player like Dame is out, that everybody knows that everybody has a little bit more responsibility, and it changes. I think it does change the chemistry of the game. And I don't know. I've seen it before. When a player like that is out, and we've lost games against teams like that have been shorthanded. It happens. It can happen, and I'm glad it happened for us.
In regards to Ellaby, did you have a sense he would be able to play like this if given the minutes?
Well, he played the amount of minutes I planned on playing him, just because by virtue of where we were with available players. But I was really pleased with his defense. He was aggressive. He got some tough rebounds, made some good hard defensive plays, and he asserted himself. He asserted himself into the game rather than just being watching others play. He really inserted himself into the game.
Thanks.
So we're waiting on this ball movement comment.
Terry, you did just kind of reference it there, but in regards to guys being able to step up, I imagine in some respects you're not surprised at all, because you've been in the league for a long time, and I think people around the league know that if you make the league, basically you can play, and a lot of times it's just about opportunities. So
then why the hell does our media act like so many guys on our team can't play and they're just absolute garbage? Right? Like, I don't know. Casey necessarily isn't one of the people that acts like that, but you have so many media guys that just act like we have peewee basketball players on this team. Like, it was a perfect example, Chad Dewing in regards to Nasir Little. It's I don't know. That is just interesting.
The league know that if you make the league, basically you can play, and a lot of times it's just about opportunities. So, I mean, were you at all surprised to see the guys play as well tonight, or was it like you expect that kind of stuff from your team?
Well, if you go down the roster, I think everybody who played tonight, other than CJ Ellaby, played a game that you would expect that they were capable of playing.
Exactly.
CJ didn't get a chance to play much, and so he was kind of a wild card. But Robert and Mello and Ennis and Rodney and Gary and Ant and Harry, I mean, they basically all played a game that they were capable of playing.
Exactly.
Dwight James, NBC Sports Northwest.
Terry, one thing that you do see in games like this with one star player out a lot is that the dynamic does change, and you see better ball movement, player movement, because I don't know if that's because players think they need to do that to win or what, but Can you speak to that?
Well, a lot of times it does. It was a different style of game, but it's funny. We only had 17 assists. We had 121 points and only 17 assists. So I don't know what it looked like, but I know that it seemed like everybody played the game the way it was supposed to be played. If they had an opportunity to score, they did. If not, they passed. I would like to say that I thought Rodney Hood playing point, something he hasn't done since he's been here, and I don't know if he's done it before, but when he was in there, I thought he did an excellent job of running the offense. We probably called more plays than usual, but I thought he did an excellent job of kind of just keeping everything control on the offensive end.
So we called more plays than usual. How do you not know what it looked like? Did you not see the game stats? Like, what did it look like to you? And that's the exact example about not tying ball movement to assists. Like, I literally talked about that earlier. That's like a casual thing to do, and I'm surprised that he actually just did that. But also, I'm not surprised. Like, really? Oh my goodness.
Did he just admit that we don't usually run plays too? So don't try to. That's for all those people who try to say, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. They run plenty of plays." Like, he just said they don't usually run that many plays.
Yeah, yeah. They called more plays tonight. Oh, look, the offense looked better. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's I don't know, that answer. Yikes. He seemed so lost there. Like,
he shouldn't have said that, but I thought like the overall, like that he thought the players did what they were supposed to do, and like all the rest of the comments made sense. He just shouldn't have started it off that way, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, the question is obviously phrased like, do you think the team moved the ball better than normal today, and why do you think that is? That's how I would have worded it. Like, so maybe it's just a wording with the question, but that's basically what they're asking, and he didn't really like answer that specific part of it. It was just like, well, I mean, you look at the assist numbers, we only had 17 assists. I think we it played the right way, and guys, when they had shots, they took them, and yeah, like, I don't know.
I think this is where he gets to the other part of that answer, though.
Okay.
You also had a ton of offensive boards, which means fewer assists, but also was a big factor in the game, it seemed.
Yeah. Well, Ennis is always going to get his offensive rebounds. But, looking down the list, the offensive rebounds, Harry getting 5. Yeah, getting those extra possessions. I mean, we had 98 shots. Back in the old days, teams used to average 90-some shots. Now it's odd if teams do get 90 shots. But you're right; those extra possessions really help.
Jason Quick, The Athletic.
Coach, so how similar were your play calls and actions tonight to when you have the full complement of players?
Good question.
We basically ran the same stuff, probably fewer pick and rolls. Obviously, we're a heavy pick and roll team with Dame. We didn't put anything new in, but we probably ran more movement sets.
Yeah, and then also
good. Actually, honestly, good. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. I mean, I actually like that answer. I don't know, like, yeah, because that's what you got to do. You don't got Dame, maybe the best pick and roll player in the league. Like, I understand why they run a lot of pick and rolls. I would like to see them diversify things more in general. I think that would make them much harder to guard, and you can still, at the end of shot clock possessions, rely on pick and roll. So that's my issue with the offense. But, like, yeah, you don't got Dame, you don't got pick and roll players. You're playing Gary Trent Jr., Rodney Hood, and whatnot. You gotta utilize more movement because of the personnel you're given. So that's actually a good move by him. But it's an obvious one too. Like, I don't know, that's not impressive to me that he did that. That's common sense, but at least he did it, because for the most part, like, you saw lineups without Dame and CJ earlier this season, and it seemed like they weren't utilizing much movement or playing any differently, and it was Anthony Simons having to take the shots that Dame does, and then people getting on him for not being Dame. Like, that was the issue earlier this season. So at least, that's a positive. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I agree, but here's the thing: if we play that way, like against teams that double Dame, or like at the end of games when they start to pressure Dame a little more, that's when you want to go to this stuff, like do more movement, do more plays. Like it's fine, like if Dame's going off and he's having a good game, like sure, like whatever, let Dame do his thing. But like it's the problem we have is when we get into the playoffs against good defensive teams, or when we are at the end of games and it's pressure time, and Dame's not getting good looks or being able to dribble past half court without seeing a double team, stuff like that. That's when you use them off the ball a little more, do some more movement, do this kind of things, run a play versus just continually to run the pick and roll right into the trap or right into what the defense is trying to stop. That's when you mix it up. And I just hope that it just throws that wrinkle in there to where we just move better if the pick and roll isn't working at certain games.
Yep. Henry says, to be honest, it's not like our ball movement was incredible either. The fact that Stotts seemed to resent having to move the ball is crazy. Yeah, I don't know. The whole dynamic is just weird. But we got 23 seconds left of this one.
Is there a word that comes to mind when you think about how CJ played out there?
Well, let me go into my word salad and see if I can figure out a word. No,
he's not Neil Olshey.
Not really. I mean, he's. I'm just glad.
I wish he said that. That would be funny as well. He's just like, I don't know, man. I'm not Neil Olshey.
He bifurcated.
He bifurcated. I would like Stotts. I wouldn't criticize Stotts for 10 games if he said that, man. Are you kidding me? That would have been the funniest.
He had an opportunity. I'm glad he took advantage.
What kind of question is that, though? What word would you use to describe? Like,
good. Like, I don't know. Oh man. That was so funny if you said that. I wish you did, man. Stotts, you missed your golden opportunity to win me over. Anyway, that's the interviews. Let's look at the standings.
Real quick, let me get to Dro's donation, $5 donation.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I missed that. We're going through the interviews. I did see that, Dro. Let's read it off.
It was good to see the team move the ball. Remember, this game Stotts will fail to make adjustments. D needs to be active. Melo needs to step up on O. I mean, it's hard to... I don't know why you're critiquing Melo after tonight's game. This is the wrong game to say that. So
right criticism, wrong game, you know.
The D definitely needs to be active like it was tonight. And I was saying this earlier, I really hope that Stotts builds upon the successes of this game and implements them once he starts getting the personnel back and we start playing a little stronger overall team play.
Yes. Yeah. Blockboy says a bad question. Well, at least he donated, shows some support, man. I greatly appreciate it, Dro. He left a donation after the stream. I think a couple streams ago. I shouted him out on Twitter because we were already off air by the time he posted it. So good to catch you in stream this time. GK, is that something new or is that like the old thing? Because
I mean, if it's the old one, yeah, everyone should know about that.
I'm not gonna talk about that. Yeah, so let's look at the standings. The Blazers are 5th right now. Everybody's jam packed. You know, honestly, it's like one night we can be 4th, one night we could be 10th. Like, it honestly doesn't matter. You know, it's nice to see them up the standings, but yeah, we are 12-9. We're half a game behind Denver for 4th. It
looks like the Nuggets are down 15 with 5 minutes left. So
we'll be tied with the Nuggets for 4th place. Yeah, I mean, you got the Utah Jazz at 17-5. They have won like 12 out of 13 games. That's insane. And they have the best point differential in the league outside of Milwaukee. Which is crazy because Milwaukee's only 13-8, but they're a plus 8.8. We have a negative point differential, but it looks like we'll be tied for 4th with the Nuggets. I took the Nuggets. I wish I didn't pick the dang Nuggets in picks against the spread, but because it looks like that's not going well. But yeah, I mean, you got Utah, Clippers, and Lakers are kind of the clear-cut top 3 right now, but We're only 4 games behind the Lakers and the Clippers if the Lakers pull this out, and we're only 4.5 games behind the Jazz, so it's not like we're too far back of those teams, to be honest. You gotta win. Just gotta keep winning to maintain pace. You can't sit at 500 and expect to maintain pace with those teams. So, but honestly, with these injuries, 500 or better is fine at this point. The Suns are 11-9. The Warriors and Spurs are 12-10. All those teams are tied 6th through 8th, a half game behind us. Memphis is 9-8. Houston is 11-10. That's 9th and 10th place. Those teams are only a game behind us, so we're literally only a game ahead of 10th right now. So it's not like, I don't know, positioning even matters this much with these teams all bunched up. Sacramento is actually 11-10. Oklahoma City is 9-11. They've been surprisingly solid. It's kind of crazy that the 14th team in the West is only 5 games below 500. They're 9-14, and that's Dallas too. That's a team everybody expected to make a jump this year. They have not looked good. They have taken a step back. Minnesota is bringing up the rear. But yeah, even the Thunder at 12th place are only 2 games below 500. They're only 2.5 games behind us. So, it's pretty jam-packed here. It's kind of crazy how jam-packed it is to start the season. Even if you look at the East, there's only 3 games separating Boston at 4 and Chicago at 11. So, and you got a team in Miami, they're sitting there 13th in the East right now. That is underachieving. I don't know what's up with them. They have fallen off mightily. It'll be interesting to see if they can kind of correct things there. You got Toronto on the outside looking in. Right now in the East, 6th through 8th, you got Charlotte, Cleveland, and Atlanta. 9th is New York, so that's an interesting 6th through 9th spots. A bunch of teams that people expected they expected Cleveland and New York to be bottom feeders and Atlanta to maybe contend for a playoff spot, Charlotte to kind of be in between. But I don't know, man. Charlotte is in 6th place right now. They're first in the league in assists. You look at their roster, you wouldn't think they'd be anywhere close to the playoffs. But, maybe it's just, that ball movement making it easier on everybody. I don't know. Just a theory. I don't know. Might be wrong. But yeah, so the Blazers coming up next. They have the New York Knicks in a couple days. We said they needed to win one of these 2 games, Early morning game. We said the Sixers and the Knicks want them to win one of the 2. They've taken care of the one, right? So, cool. Mission accomplished. But after taking care of this one, I just really want to win that Knicks game because...
Yes, especially if Dame plays. We should win that game, hopefully. Be nice to finish off this road trip with that win.
Yep. Let's go around the NBA real quick. The Lakers are beating the Nuggets by 15 right now. The Blazers, of course, beat the 76ers. The Jazz beat the Nuggets 112-91. The Warriors beat the Mavericks 147-116. Kelly Oubre had 40 points. You remember when he literally couldn't hit a shot outside of a dunk to start the season? He's figured things out, at least for this game. He was 7 for 10 from 3, 14 for 21 from the field. Had a phenomenal performance. Steph Curry had 28 points. They started Juan Toscano-Anderson. They had to go small, and they took care of business. Did I pick the Warriors or the Mavericks?
You picked the Mavericks.
I should have went Warriors. You talked me out of it. I blame you. I'm just kidding.
No, you misspoke. Yeah.
I mean, you look at the Mavericks, man. They can't defend. They're much like us. They gave up 76 points in the first half. Or no, they scored 76 points in the first half. They gave up 74 points in the first half.
They got destroyed in the second.
Problem is, they only scored 40 in the second, and they went on to give up 73 points in the second half. So, yeah, they can't defend, and right now they don't they're not getting enough offensively from guys right now. You got Kristaps Porzingis, who was injured to start the season. Now he's back. He's only shooting 29% from 3 and 45% from the field. He's only getting 19 points per game and 8 rebounds. They need more from him. And honestly, this is why I wasn't high on the Mavericks going into the season. Like, they trade Seth Curry for Josh Richardson. That's an offensive downgrade. Josh Richardson is only 2 for 9 tonight, 2 for 7 from the field, only had 6 points, right? But, he's a good defender. But still, it's not enough. Rick Carlisle, I'm starting to realize, is not a good defensive coach. He has a lot of similarities with Stotts. And, just trading Seth Curry. Seth Curry's an underrated defender, too. I think Josh Richardson is a little overrated in that regard. So they went out and got James Johnson and Josh Richardson, right? But that wasn't going to fix their defense. It's kind of like us. We got some defensive players, but we're still struggling a bit. Problem is, with Porzingis not playing well, with him being hurt, and trading out Seth Curry and downgrading that spot offensively, it's they're struggling to outscore teams. Last year they won a lot of games by just simply outscoring teams because they were bad defensively. This year they don't have the same offensive firepower to do that, and their defense isn't really much better at all. So that's why you see them sitting at 9-14 right now.
Yeah, I was not high on the Mavs either. Luka's a great player, but Porzingis, is just still trying to get back into playing shape and all that kind of stuff. I hated that Seth Curry trade. You and I are both really high on Seth Curry, especially with his fit next to Luka, where he doesn't really have to play the point guard, but he can spot up and space the floor for him. And I think you're seeing that Luka is really missing that spacing this year.
Yep. Westbrook is going to go 6-0 on picks against the spread today. I'm going to go 3-3. So he's only going to be 3 games back. He's catching up, man. I don't like it. Do you know what Chat and you went today? Because the Lakers are going to cover.
As long as the Lakers hold on, I went 2-4. Same with Reese. The Sixers, we both had a horrible double down on the Sixers. And then Chat looks like they will be 3-3 as well.
Okay, so
they got their double down with the Rockets, and they won the Jazz game, but lost all the rest. Assuming the Lakers.
Yeah, Chat will be 2 games ahead of you, 3 games ahead of me, and 6 games ahead of Westbrook. So you'll be 2 games back at Chat. I'll be 3 games back. Westbrook will be 6. Reese and Trevin will be 5th and 6th. I don't know how many games back. I'm not going to do that math right now. So Westbrook, man, he's picking it up. He started off really, really rough, and he's starting to figure things out here. Started from the bottom. Now here is still bottom half, but you're working your way up, man. Gotta worry about that. Yeah. Anything else you want to touch on for the stream? This may be the longest post-game stream we've had. We've passed 2 hours here.
Yeah, real quick. So Strider and a few other people were asking about how could Luka be ahead of Dame in the All-Star voting? Like, the All-Star voting is stupid. Anyone taking too much stock into that is, it's pointless, man. Don't worry about it. It sucks if Dame's not named a starter. I feel like he should be. The voting only counts for half of what matters to get him to the All-Star game or to be a starter. But I wish that people would just realize, just look at some of the names that are getting votes, like a Klay Thompson. It happens every year, and people get all worked up about it. People just vote for their favorite player on their favorite team, whether they're hurt or not. It's kind of like, if you're voting for CJ right now, he's hurt. He can't even play in the All-Star game, let alone...
Wait. He's going to be back by March 7th, isn't he? Isn't that the plan?
Maybe. He might be able to, but
not enough games to get there.
Yeah,
though,
he didn't have enough games to qualify. It sucks that he got hurt because he probably could have been a first-time All-Star this year. He was playing that good, but to get upset about Luka over Dame, Luka's a very popular player. He has a huge following. Plus, he has a lot of overseas votes that Dame might not necessarily have. This guy's the future of the league and stuff. He's gonna get a lot of votes, and it's not surprising that he has more than Dame. As a Blazer fan, you were hoping this year is probably Dame's best chance to start if he could ever start an All-Star game. But yeah, I'm not going to get worked up over someone having more votes than him.
Yep, 100% agree with that. So, I think we're probably going to wrap the stream up here. I don't know, unless you guys got anything left for me. Yeah, man. I mean, just an enjoyable game for sure. Maybe the funnest game of the year. Really enjoyed this one. Didn't expect to enjoy this one. I expected this to just be like, oh, well, I'm going to go to the gym during the second half because we're down 30. But that was not the case. Yeah, terrific win from them. Hopefully they can get Dame back. Hopefully they can get Derrick Jones Jr. back. Hopefully they can get Nas back, right? And get those guys back and kind of go on a little run here. I mean, their schedule isn't actually too tough in the upcoming few games. Let me pull it up here. Their next game is the 6th, Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern. That's against the New York Knicks. Then they have a couple days off. Maybe they can get in a full contact practice. I don't know. But they finish their road trip basically with that Knicks game on Saturday. Then they play Tuesday the 9th. Against the Orlando Magic. That's a team that's struggling and very injured. Then they face the Sixers again on the 11th at home. That game will be on TNT. On the 12th, they face Cleveland. On the 14th, they start a 3-game road trip. They play the 14th, 16th, and 17th against Dallas, Oklahoma City, and New Orleans. And then they come home the 20th and play the Wizards. So honestly, looking at this slate right now, you have only one playoff team. The Knicks, Magic, Cavs, Mavericks right now, Thunder, Pelicans, Wizards, those are all lottery teams. So 7 out of the upcoming 8 games are against teams that are currently in the lottery. Hopefully they can go 6-2. I mean, they're hurt and injured right now, but, it's probably more likely to be 5-3. But 6-2, you're looking at 18-11. That's a pretty dang good record for around the time when you might be able to get CJ back. So, even if they're 17-12, if they go 5-3 over these next 8 games, like I'll take that too. So you could be in a decent spot when you start getting guys healthier near the end of the month is around when CJ might be able to come back. So yeah, I mean that's the hope right now. Is you got a chance here to really build the record above 500 despite these injuries. So I hope they take it and make the most out of it.
Yeah, it kind of sucked, getting that back-to-back after the Bucks game. But since we beat the Wizards and now don't have to play back-to-back 10 a.m. games this weekend, which is what our original schedule was.
I'm so happy about that.
I think that, like you said, that gives us an extra day off that we didn't have going into the season. So that'll be nice for them to come home, have a day of rest, and then get in and fix some things up in practice and hopefully get some players healthy here in the next couple weeks.
Yep, that's the plan. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in today. Remember, new highlights channel. I will post a full highlights reaction from this game. At least for a month will be for members only, but I will make sure to drop some for everyone. So if you want to go subscribe, the link is in the description. I've updated the description with that link. I will post the link to that new channel in the comment section as well if you guys want to go subscribe to that. For channel members, the link will be in the community tab once it's uploaded. I can make it so that posts in the community tab, certain posts are only seen by channel members, so I will drop that link to that video. It'll only be available for people with the link, and I will drop that for channel members in the community tab, so stay tuned with that. I'll also tweet out when I do that. If you want to become a channel member, hit the join button below this video, and you'll have more information on that. You'll get full access to all the stuff we upload on that highlights channel by becoming a member of any level. So even if it's just the $2 membership, you'll get full access to that. So we'll be able to actually break down footage. I'll be doing some of them, but I'm sure, I don't know, Eric, you might want to do a couple. I'm sure you would enjoy that. That'll be fun to be able to do and have a channel dedicated to highlights and not have to worry about the copyright issues affecting this channel or the streaming channel. So anyway, that wraps up this post game stream. The Blazers have a shocking win against the Philadelphia 76ers and moved to 12-9 on the season. Not so bad of a record considering the adversity they've had to face so far. This game showcased everything that we want to see from the team moving forward, and hopefully they're able to build on this performance and have a good upcoming stretch against some lottery teams. We will keep you covered after every game, as always, right here on Blazers Uprise on this main channel with the Blazers Uprise post-game show. And make sure you subscribe to our other channels, our Blazers Uprise Live channel and the Highlights channel, links in the description below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter at ToryJonesYT, follow Eric at HoopsJock, help Eric get to 1,000, and follow the channel at Blazers Uprise YT. We'd greatly appreciate that. We like engaging with you guys over there on the Twitter. Other than that, that's a wrap. Anything left to end off with for you, Eric?
No, thanks everyone for watching. It's been a fun stream after just a really enjoyable game to watch. And this night went a lot differently than I thought it was going to go, but I'm very happy for that.
Yep, 100%. Well said. So anyway.
And we'll see you Saturday.
Yep, that wraps you up. We will see you guys again on Saturday after that 10 a.m. tip time. We will be going live around 12:30 in the afternoon, so that'll be a completely different time to stream at. So looking forward to it. Hope to see you guys in there as well. And that wraps things up. So hope you guys have a good rest of your night and a good Friday. Until next time, as always, peace out. Go Blazers.